Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giridharadhari Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Panachari Yamuna Tira Panachari Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Yasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Panachari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Padivrajagacharya Asto Tadasata Sri Srimad Abhay Charanarvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Iskcon founder Acharya Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Padivrajagacharya Asto Tadasata Sri Srimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananti Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Sham Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai Sri Navadvip Mayapur Dham Ki Jai Sri Jagannath Puri धाम की जय, श्री मथुरा धाम की जय, श्री द्वारका धाम की जय, गंगामयी की जय, यमुनामयी की जय, भक्ति देवी की जय, तुलसी देवी की जय, समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे। All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Om Jnananjamidandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gadamahyam Dadati Swavadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Judapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavanscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahakana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Harijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padam Sahakana Lalita Sri Vishakam Vitamscha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Asyatya Veshatharine Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Sri Varshavanavi Devi Dayathaya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryochvala Premadya Sri Rupanuga Bhaktita Sri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Sri Murtaye Dinadharine Rupanuga Virudapa Siddhanta Dvanta Harine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshat Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Adambojayate Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumestvam Nirdesta Satchanapriya Vaishnava Sarvabhoma Sri Jagannatayate Namaha Vanchakalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Adhitanam Bhavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Mahabaranyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gauradvishe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namos Namostate Jayatam Suratau Pangor Mama Manda Matirgati Matsarvaswa Patambo Chao Radha Madana Mohanao Divyat Vrindavan Kalpadrumata Sriman Ratnakada Simhasanastao Sisi Radha Shila Govinda Devo Rista Libi Sevyamano Smarani Sriman Rasarasaramni Bamsivata Tatastita Karshan Venu Swanaya Gopir Gopinata Sriyestunaha Tapta Kanchana Gorangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasati Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. On behalf of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada and the Brahma Madhva Gaudiya Sampradaya, we will now begin this ceremony of first and second initiations. Srila Prabhupada, on behalf of the tradition of our Sampradaya, would begin such ceremonies with the recitation of a particular verse that very much describes the process and the purpose of human life. Om apavitra pavitrova sarvavastam gatopiva yasmarit pundarikaksham sabhaya vyantara suci. Whether one is pure or impure, or even having passed through all situations of life, one who remembers the beautiful lotus-eyed Supreme Personality of Godhead is purified both within and without. Bhaktivinoda Thakur wrote beautiful song, Durlabha Manava Janma Lobhya Samsare. This human form of life is very rare. And the rarest thing in this human life is to understand its real purpose. In this material existence, everyone is destined to suffer, simply because of this influence of Maya. Sometimes Srila Prabhupada describes Maya as this power that makes us want to be the enjoyer, the proprietor, and the controller. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he begins his teachings to Sanatana Goswami with a principle that reveals the true nature of the soul eternally. Jiveta Swarupoi Krishna Nityadas. The nature of the living force within all beings is we are part and parcel of Krishna. We are eternally subordinate to Krishna. Nityo Nityanam Chaitanas Chaitananam Eko Bahunam Yogadadadikama. Free will to accept subordination to Krishna's material energy, or by the power of time, we are all at every moment in the process of being destroyed. Birth, old age, disease, and death. However powerful, however famous, however wealthy, however learned, we are always subordinate to old age, disease, and death within this world. But one who surrenders to Krishna with love, with the will to serve Krishna and please Krishna, we become subordinate to Krishna's eternal Satchidananda, blissful potency. Therefore, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu describes that the nature of the soul is we are always the servants of God. The idea of surrender is that I will live for Krishna's pleasure. We have independent free will. That is the difference between us and this piece of metal. Material nature, the external elements, they are existing, they are Krishna's potency, but they have no free will. But a living being, where there is sentient consciousness, there is also this free will. When we utilize our free will to try to be enjoyer, controller, and proprietor separate from Krishna, then we will not remain bound by the ropes of these three modes: goodness, passion, ignorance. Seeking happiness, but realizing that all of our efforts lead us only to suffering and eventual disappointment and death. Surrender is to offer our free will to Krishna. In the culmination of the Christian theology, there is that statement where Jesus speaks to God, "Let your will and not my will be done." Just a couple days ago, we celebrated Srila Prabhupada's coming to America, the 60th anniversary, where Srila Prabhupada arrives. And actually, by English calendar, it is today. By Vaishnav calendar, it was on September 13th, but by the Western calendar, it is today, September 17th. And since Srila Prabhupada came to preach in the West, we can take the Western calendar very nicely. So today is anniversary of Srila Prabhupada's arriving. And while he was just in the port of Boston, he wrote that beautiful prayer, Markine Bhagavat Dharma. He begins, "My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind to me. He had just spent 36 days on a cargo ship. The second day at sea, he got seasick. And it continued for most of the journey. He had those 2 heart attacks. And yet, when you have heart attacks on a cargo ship in the middle of the Arabian Sea, there wasn't any medical helicopters to take him to an emergency place. He was alone. There was no medical help. No pharmacy for proper medicines. It was just he and Krishna. And when he arrived in Boston after all of this, and actually, according to my research we've done, when Srila Prabhupada got off the boat in Boston with Captain Pandya, he actually made a call to Gopal Agarwal in Butler, Pennsylvania. But before that, he wasn't really sure if anyone was going to be there. "69 years old, no funds, not knowing anyone. After heart attacks. And yet he's saying, "My dear Lord Krishna, you are so kind upon this useless soul. But I do not know why you have brought me here. Now you can do whatever you like with me." Such surrender. Srila Prabhupada as our Acharya is giving us the highest aspiration. Krishna, I'm yours. And later in the poem, he prays, "Krishna, I am your puppet. If you have brought me here to dance, then make me dance, my Lord, make me dance. What is the nature of a puppet? A puppet is an inanimate object. And a puppet can only do what the puppeteer does through the puppet. The puppeteer makes the leg go up of the puppet doesn't have the choice to go up or down. Such a surrender. When we give our free will to be whatever Krishna wants, that is the true meaning of being the servant. It's interesting. The ultimate expression of free will is to surrender our free will. And actually, that's the fullest, most complete manifestation of free will. Because it is based on the principle of love through service. When Srila Prabhupada came to the West in Boston, in his prayers, he's praying to Krishna. That if you give me your words to speak, and you give them the ability to understand your words, then they will be happy. Anandamayo Vyashat. The nature of the soul is to be happy. The nature of the soul is to be happy in receiving the limitless happiness of Krishna's love. Srila Prabhupada describes when he was a little boy, his father would tell him that Krishna has 10 hands and you only have 2 hands. And if Krishna wants to take away from you, how can you hold on to anything? And if Krishna wants to give to you, how much can you even receive it? Krishna has descended in his holy names. In Srila Prabhupada's prayer, he concludes it that I have no knowledge and I have no devotion. But I have complete faith in your holy names. And yet I have been given the name Bhaktivedanta, knowledge and devotion. Now it is for you, Krishna, to fulfill the meaning of the name that I have been given. Initiation is to make a sincere, lifelong commitment to expressing our gratitude by, as according to our capacity, wholeheartedly receiving the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, our Guru Parampara, our Diksha and Shiksha Gurus who are representing to receive the knowledge, to receive the culture, and to reciprocate by following. In Srila Prabhupada's life, everything was so instructive. He met his Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, in 1922. Srila Prabhupada was then 25 years old. Just recently, he was married and had a little baby son. And yet, when he first met his Guru, he was given this instruction to take the message of Lord Chaitanya in the English-speaking world to the Western. And Srila Prabhupada describes that at that first meeting, within his heart, he said, I accepted him as my eternal father and my spiritual master. Srila Prabhupada said, not officially, but in my heart. It was 11 years later that he took Diksha officially. He met Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada in Calcutta. And soon after that, he shifted with his family to Prayag, Allahabad, for his occupation. And 11 years passed. And it was there in Prayag that Srila Bhakti, actually in Vrindavan, Srila Prabhupada went to Vrindavan to Koshi to a parikrama. And Srila Prabhupada, so many times, he loved to tell these stories. His Guru Maharaj was speaking. Srila Prabhupada came from Allahabad, and there was a parikrama to go to a very holy place, the Sheshashayi Vishnu temple. And it was announced that everyone come for the parikrama. And at the same time, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur will be speaking. And Srila Prabhupada was thinking, what will I see at these holy places? Let me hear from my Guru Maharaj. No, he was not initiated yet. But he had this deep eagerness to hear. And he said, my Guru Maharaj spoke very high language and very high philosophy. And he spoke for very long times. He said, so much I didn't understand, but I just wanted to hear. And sometime later, his Guru Maharaj came to Prayagraj, and Srila Prabhupada was introduced to him and recommended for initiation. His Guru Maharaj didn't say, oh, of course I will initiate him. He will be the Acharya who will spread Lord Chaitanya's mission all over the world. He's giving nice donations. He said, I have taken note. He likes to hear. He does not go away. I will initiate him. And Srila Prabhupada was given first and second initiation. But Srila Prabhupada describes the real initiation was 11 years before in his heart, when he actually surrendered. He surrendered at that time. The instruction I've been given, I will give my life. He was just waiting for the time. So this initiation ceremony is so very important because there is this official commitment and connection to our Guru and to the whole Guru Parampara. It is an act of surrender. There are so many alternatives that Maya or material nature puts before us of what we can receive, what we can hold valuable, what will give us happiness. But the actual initiation is when the most valuable thing in my life is to receive the mercy of Krishna coming through the Guru Parampara. The most valuable thing in life is to express my gratitude by aspiring to be the humble servant of the Lord. Daivihi shugunamayi mamamaya duratyaya mamai vamya prabhadyante mayame tatarantite. Material nature is Krishna's nature. Mayadhyakshena prakriti. Material nature or Maya is all powerful. But when we take shelter of Krishna, when we surrender to Krishna, then by Krishna's grace we can easily cross beyond it. Yes, this initiation, the spirit is what is all important. The ceremony, the yajna, is a divine, sacred blessing by which we can truly focus our life and our hearts on the purpose of the initiation. To surrender to the higher will of Krishna. To strive to be a puppet of Krishna's love in our life, in our relationships, in our body, our mind, and our words. But the real initiation is the intent, the will, to live by these principles. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described when we, after wandering through the universes, through countless births and deaths, through so many species of life, when one is truly fortunate, one comes in contact with the Guru who can plant the seed of devotion in our heart, the Bhakti Lata Bija. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in his description to Sri Rupa Goswami, describes then it is our responsibility In one sense, initiation is we're taking a vow that you have entrusted this bhakti lata bija in my heart. Now I am going to be a gardener, and I'm going to protect and nourish that seed. Because it's not that because we get the seed, we're going to become perfect. It's an opportunity. But what happens if you don't take care of the seed? If you allow various creatures to come and exploit it, trample upon it, uproot it, it's the gardener's duty. Krishna Guru has entrusted the seed to me, I must protect it. By guarding against the 10 offenses of the holy names, by following regulative principles by which we are not subjecting this bhakti lata bija to harm and to damage. And we must water the seed. You see, even if that seed, even after many years of being devotees, if we don't give water to the seed will dry up. We lose our taste for Krishna consciousness. We lose our enthusiasm for Krishna consciousness. We lose our strength to resist the temptations and the allurements of Maya. And the watering process is especially Sravanam Kirtanam, hearing and chanting the names and glories of the Lord in the association of devotees of the Lord. At whatever stage, until we attain a very perfected stage, as long as we're subjected to the influence of the modes of material nature, we must be very determined and enthusiastic in our sadhana, in our hearing, in our chanting. Otherwise, the bhakti lata bija, the seed, will become dry and weak. Srila Prabhupada quote Bhagavad Gita, Vyavashayatmaka buddhir eke hakudunandana, Ushaka yanantasya buddhayo vyavashaya. Those who are on this path are resolute in determination. Their aim is to serve Krishna, to love Krishna, to please Krishna. Samsiddhi doshana. So by taking initiation, it's not that automatically love of God and blessings and mercies liberates us. Initiation from our part, yes, mercy is coming. Yes, grace is coming. Yes, the doors to the ultimate liberation of prema bhakti are being given to me. But from the side of the initiate, I am committing my life with determination, enthusiasm, and whatever patience is required to follow. Krishna consciousness is not a cheap thing. In one sense, What are we giving Krishna? What is Krishna giving us? Krishna has unlimited living entity expansions, shaktis, living beings in the spiritual world of Goloka and Vaikuntha who are forever serving him with pure unalloyed love. Unimaginable. What to speak of in Vaikuntha, so many Vaikunthas. In Goloka, how many living beings are there? Every blade of grass is a Paramahamsa, a pure liberated soul who knows nothing but ecstatic loving service to Krishna. What to speak of the cows and the gopas and the gopis, and what to speak, he's forever in the company of Sri Radha. There is no lack, there is nothing wanted, there is nothing needed. So what do we have to give Krishna? Yet Krishna's love is so supremely, inconceivably perfect that he's forever indebted for whatever little we offer with devotion. Jiva Goswami gives the comparison of a sun ray and the sun planet. Whatever light and heat the sun ray, the infinitesimal sun ray, whatever it has, it's receiving from the sun planet. And a sun ray touches our hand and it just feels a little nice. What is the heat and light of the sun planet? It's unimaginable. Krishna is like the sun and we are like a sun ray. But yet, even though whatever love we have is coming from Krishna, and it's insignificant, and there's limitless sun rays, still, when one little sun ray offers its love and devotion to the sun becomes conquered by that. The sun feels subordinate to that. That is Krishna. When we think God is great, we may conceive of his greatness as the creator of the entire universes, the maintainer of the universes, the destroyer of the universes. So merciful, even the most sinful person he can lift out of the universe and give ultimate liberation and happiness. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the great Vaishnava Acharyas, they're telling how great is Krishna, that he's the source of everything in material and spiritual worlds. Everything's emanating. And yet when an insignificant jiva like us, who have betrayed him since time immemorial, if we just make that decision to serve him with love and live by that principle, Krishna accepts being subordinate to that love. Krishna is forever grateful for that love. In Sri Chaitanya Bhagavat, Lord Chaitanya said that he's talking about Haridas Thakur and those following in Haridas Thakur's footprints. He said, I am a prisoner of his love. all the wealth, all the grandeur and glory of the entire existence, all the universes, does not compare in value to one devotee who serves me with love. That is Krishna. Srila Prabhupada, he's praying to be a puppet of that Krishna. Karuna Sindhu, a shoreless, bottomless, limitless ocean of compassion. And he's Paramatma. He never leaves us, he's in our heart. And the Paramatma is an expansion of Gopal, Govinda, in the spiritual world. Now, most of us, if we had a very happy position, why would we waste our time always sitting next to somebody who's forgetting him, betraying him, exploiting his property? But yet Paramatma never leaves anyone. Even if you're so much in passion and ignorance that you take birth as a lizard or a mosquito, still Krishna never leaves your side as Paramatma. It's like each of us has our own personal Paramatma. And yet for each Paramatma, we are personally belong to him. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Krishna descends into this world again and again and again to give us another chance. To open the doors and give us the opportunity for that eternal loving service in the Supreme Abode. Rupa Goswami has prayed, Namo Mahavadhanaya Krishna Prema Pradayate. Of all the incarnations of Krishna, including even Krishna, Lord Chaitanya is the most magnanimous, most merciful, because he's giving the highest experience of Prema Bhakti to the most fallen souls in this age of Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, we heard this at a reading yesterday. It's interesting because in Boston, we went on a boat which represented Jaladuta. As soon as the boat started moving, I got seasick. So seasickness is kind of a horrible experience. But then, at least in some way, I'm following Srila Prabhupada's path. And because the nature of seasickness is there's like all these imbalances going on that make you nauseous and dizzy and everything. When I went on the airplane the next day, it was again. And then this special vehicle that was arranged for me kind of even, it made me even worse than the boat and the airplane. But then during Prasad, devotee was reading Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And I got better. The reason you're clapping, whether you know it or not, is Srila Prabhupada in his diary. Srila Prabhupada describes his seasickness and his heart attacks and everything else. And he said, but the reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita and the nectarine Leela of Lord Chaitanya is giving me solace. And what is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita? Of course, it's describing so beautifully Lord Chaitanya's tattva as Radha Avadyuti Subalitam Nomi Krishna Swarupam. But so much of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is Lord Chaitanya's relationships with his devotees. And Lord Chaitanya and his devotees, their great compassion and mercy upon all spirit souls. In Jarikanta, he was giving ecstatic love of God to the bushes and the trees and the snakes and the tigers and the deers. In South India, anyone who would just receive the holy name from him, he would embrace and give them love of God. He described himself as a fruit vendor. He said, I have so many fruits, and each fruit is a fruit of prema bhakti, ecstatic love for Krishna. And I want to give them to everyone. But I'm just one person. How many can I give? He's asking, whoever is my devotee, help me distribute these fruits. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, such an empowered acharya. He was writing books in the English language and sending them all over the world. And then he prayed for a son who would give his life to spread Lord Chaitanya's love to the whole world. And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur was his prayer coming true. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur not only organized the whole mission to preach Lord Chaitanya's message, but sent among his best people to the West. And Srila Prabhupada, in his diary, he writes, so far away from Vrindavan, I'm feeling separation from Madan Mohan, Govindaji, Radha Damodara. But I'm here in the order of my spiritual master to fulfill the will of Lord Chaitanya, to spread Krishna's holy names and Krishna's holy service throughout the world. Initiation is a day when we formally, sincerely, from our heart of hearts, we're committing ourselves to forever be grateful and reciprocate with what we've been given. When Srila Prabhupada was asked, how can we repay you? He said, just receive what I'm giving you and share it with each other, and share it with the world. So we see in the world the way it is today, so much division, so much fighting, all because people want to be the proprietor, the enjoyer, and the controller. To show our gratitude to Srila Prabhupada and all the acharyas, we must give the topmost priority, samsiddhir haritoshanam. What will please you, my Lord? What will please my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna? With so much division, so much conflict, will anyone take us serious having the solution if we're fighting among ourselves? This is the International Society for Krishna Consciousness, a worldwide and local community where Krishna is in the center. Pleasing Krishna is in the center. And Krishna has descended in his holy names. Nam Namakari Bahudan Nija Sarva Shaktis. Krishna's power, Krishna's beauty, Krishna's grace, Krishna's pastimes are all accessible in his holy names. But then Lord Chaitanya teaches how to chant. He says, even though you have descended in your holy names with all your powers, I am so unfortunate, I have no attraction. Trinadavi Sunichena Tarori Bhaseshna Amani Namanadena Kirtaniya Sadhani. To aspire to be more humble than the blade of grass, tolerant like tree, to offer respect to others and expect none in return. This is what it is, this culture of life that pleases Krishna. And when we embrace this, then Krishna is pleased to reveal himself, and Sri Radharani is pleased to reveal herself when we chant their holy names. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Srimad Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. Krishna descended in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Kali Kale Namarupe Krishna Avatar, Krishna descended in his name. What is more valuable in this human life where there's only a few moments to live actually, than to fill ourselves with hearing Srimad Bhagavatam and hearing and chanting the holy names? I will conclude with one story from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. One year, so many devotees came from Bengal and other provinces to meet Lord Chaitanya for the Gundicha cleaning and the Rath Yatra. And that year is described when Lord Jagannath is carried from his throne in the Jagannath temple to the chariot. They have these silk ropes that they carry him with, and they move him from one big pillow to another. And the silk ropes were breaking because Jagannath's very heavy. So as the devotees, before they were leaving, some months later, Lord Chaitanya would always meet them in the Gambhira, his residence, and have beautiful, loving discussions with them. He was praising Raghava Pandit because Raghava Pandit, he did such attentive deity worship. Whatever he had, he would go through any endeavor that was possible to get the best for his deity of Madan Gopal. He had a beautiful garden with so many bananas, but yet even if it would cost a large sum of money and so much time and energy, if he heard of a banana somewhere else that was better, he would get that banana. And there are so many stories. Lord Chaitanya was sharing them with the devotees. How does he know everything? Because he's Madan Gopal. And then he turned to Shivananda Sen. And he said to Shivananda Sen, you should take care of Vasudev Datta. Because Vasudev Datta he's a householder with a family. Yet whatever income he gets, he immediately spends it. He's just so merciful. He doesn't keep anything for himself or his family. So you should make sure that he and his family are taken care of. Who is this Shivananda Sen? And then Lord Chaitanya said, and you should bring all the devotees here for the Gundicha Marjanam every year. That means 200 to 300 devotees. Takes a few weeks to walk from Bengal to Puri. There was no hotels or motels. Wasn't that there was just all these restaurants on the way. It wasn't even one country. It was all these little kingdoms, and they all had their rivalry and their taxes and their immigrations. And yet, Lord Chaitanya said, bring all these devotees here every year, and you fully maintain them all. That means he took all the management, all the organization, all the finances for everyone. And Shivananda Sen had children and wife. But he happily did it for the service of the Lord and the devotees. And then Lord Chaitanya was approached by the residents of Kulinagram. And Lord Chaitanya knew that in Kulinagram, it's a simple village actually, but they have a cottage industry there where they make really good quality silk ropes. So Lord Chaitanya told the residents of Kulinagram, their leaders were what was his name? Ramananda Basu and Satyaraj Khan. He said, in your village you make rope. You saw what happened with Lord Jagannath's rope. You should make first-class, excellent silk ropes and bring it every year to carry Lord Jagannath. And then Lord Chaitanya, he said, long ago, there was a poet named Gunaraj Khan. And he wrote in his book of poetry a single line, Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Prananatha. Very simple. It means Krishna is my life and soul. And Srila Prabhupada describes in his purport that this book called the Krishna Vijaya is written in very simple Bengali language. And from an academic poetic perspective, it's not a very impressive book, because the meters and the rhymes and all of those things are not so technically excellent. But the bhava, the devotion, the love in which he's speaking. Srila Prabhupada said, since the time it was written hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago, way before Lord Chaitanya, it is still one of the most popular of all Bengali books. Even if a person is hardly educated, he could fully understand it. Lord Chaitanya quoted as Nanda Nandana Krishna Mora Prananath. Because of this one verse, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, I am forever indebted to all of Gunaraj Khan's descendants and to all the people of Kulinagram where he lived. He said, even a dog from Kulinagram is most dear to me, because so many generations back, Gunaraj Khan wrote this line. That is the gratitude that the Lord has for the love of his devotee. And then Satyaraj Khan, he asked a question. He said, we are householders with families, with occupations, and we're very materialistic. How can we achieve the goal of life? Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave this instruction to everybody in this room and throughout the universe. He said, constantly chant the holy names of Krishna and serve Krishna and the Vaishnavas. Satyaraj Khan, he said, how will we know who is a Vaishnava? What are the qualities of a Vaishnava? Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, anyone who even one time chants the name of Krishna is a Vaishnava. And such a person is the best of human beings. You should serve them. And then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke many verses, several other verses describing the glories of the holy names of Krishna. How merciful. Krishna descends in the holy name so anyone can hear it, anyone can chant it. And Krishna's pavitra, he's supremely pure. And his name is supremely pure. By chanting the holy names, we can become purified of our material inclinations and attachments and bondage. We can be liberated from sufferings of material existence. And then Lord Chaitanya said, when that happens, then we become attracted to Krishna. And when we carry on with this constant chanting of the holy names, then not only are we attracted to Krishna, but our dormant love for Krishna awakens. Prema Pumarthaman, the true goal of life. And Krishna is so merciful, even a chandala, even a person in the most wretched condition can attain the ultimate perfection and even be a guru for the whole world. This is the power. And the doors open when we chant Krishna's name even once. Such a glorification of the holy names. The next year, the residents of Kulinagram, they brought wonderful silk robes for Jagannath. But they were told to bring them every year. And as after the Gundicha and Rathayacha and all the other festivals and kirtans and kathas that they shared for 4 months, they were leaving again. And one of the residents of Kulinagram said to Lord Chaitanya, I'm a very fallen householder. What is the way to attain the goal of life of Krishna consciousness? Lord Chaitanya is so patient. He said, always chant the holy names of the Lord and be the servant of a Vaishnava. And this resident of Kulinagram asked, how do I know who a Vaishnava is? Then Lord Chaitanya gave another answer. He said, a Vaishnava is one who is constantly chanting the names of Krishna. And then Kaviraj Goswami describes the next year they asked the same question. And Lord Chaitanya, he replied, always chant Krishna's holy names and serve the Lord's devotees, the Vaishnavas. And they asked, how do we know who a Vaishnava is? And Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave another answer. They're all the same, but they're all different levels of the same truth. He said, the best of Vaishnavas is one who, if anyone is in the presence of that Vaishnava, that person must start chanting the holy names. So a Vaishnava who chants is one who chants the name of Krishna even once, sincerely. The next level is one who is constantly chanting the holy names of Krishna. And the highest level is the one who is so absorbed in chanting the names of Krishna with love that anyone who even sees that devotee will chant the names of Krishna. But it's all centered around the sincerity, the commitment, and the devotion in which we chant the holy names. And the culture of character in which we live our lives so that Krishna will be pleased with our chanting of the holy names. pray, by Srila Prabhupada's mercy, by the mercy of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami and all of our acharyas, we are brought together. Those of you who are taking initiation, according to how seriously you are willing to invest your life in the meaning of this ceremony, that is how you will receive the love of Shri Shri Radha Gopijana Vallabha. We have our Diksha Guru, we have our Shiksha Gurus, we have our peers, we have our subordinates. How we treat each other. Essentially, Srila Prabhupada gave all of his disciples the mission to assist him. And those who are truly sincere followers of Srila Prabhupada, we are all striving to be united to best assist him. And we are all encouraging those who are taking guidance, following instructions, servant of servant, to assist us in assisting Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada quoted Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He said, I would sell all my properties if I could get one person to turn toward Krishna. And Srila Prabhupada said, but we want so many properties so we could get more people to turn toward Krishna. But we shouldn't forget that the basis is we're willing to sell everything to get one person to turn toward Krishna. And even if we're speaking to millions and hundreds of millions of people, the quality should be for that one person. Each of those millions is that one person. So my sincerest gratitude to all of you who have come forward for initiation today. With all my heart, I'm grateful to each of you. And I'm very undeserving, but I'm especially grateful that I can serve you in this way on behalf of Srila Prabhupada. And I pray that Srila Prabhupada and our Guru Parampara and Shri Shri Gopijana Vallabha and Radharani and Panchatattva, that their blessings and mercy shower upon you to find true happiness and meaning in your Krishna conscious life. And I pray by their mercy they may empower you to share this great message with each other and with the people of Michigan and Ohio and Georgia and America, the world and the universe. Thank you very much.